This is TWiT.
Louise Matsakis from Motherboard recently came upon a photo of a vending machine in a mall that will sell you 100 likes for a mere 50 Russian rubles. That's 89 cents. Welcome to the show, Louise.
Hey, Megan, how are you?
Good, thanks for coming on. So where did you first hear about the likes vending machine?
So I saw that a Russian correspondent posted it on Twitter, and I was kind of like, oh, this is really crazy. I've written before about people buying likes online, but I've never seen anywhere where you could do it in real life. So I kind of looked into it, tried to figure out what was going on. I had someone translate it. And then today I actually heard from a Russian publication, and I heard from the people who make this machine. And I found out that, yeah, it's real. There are about 20 of them all over Russia, and they're expanding to a handful of other European countries.
So I saw the picture. It looks like you can buy Instagram likes. Can you, what are those other icons for?
So on the right, you'll see VK, which is a popular Russian social media site. You can also buy fake likes for that site, as well as followers on both Instagram and VK. And then the site also gives you the ability, the machine rather, also gives you the ability to print photos from your Instagram, which is, handy if you want to pass those out to your friends. That costs the same, about 50 rubles for 2 photos. And what kind of users I saw tweeting about this, like Russian users, said that you need to select 2 photos. I'm not sure why. But yeah, you have to buy likes for 2 at once.
And what do the terms of service for these social media networks say about buying likes and followers?
So usually the way that they work is that all of the likes and all the followers come from bot accounts, which are kind of mass controlled, and they're drones. They don't actually represent real people. So every major social network prohibits you from doing this. It's considered a form of spam. It's kind of like a cat and mouse game with these companies. Back in 2015, Instagram banned hundreds of thousands of fake accounts that were participating in this kind of behavior. Twitter has an ongoing fake problem. Earlier this year, Facebook released a report detailing a lot of the fake bots that they have on their social network, especially operating in political groups. So yeah, they really hate this. And I'm surprised Instagram hasn't said something about it yet. I'm sure they will, or I'm sure they're going to do something about it. My inclination is that the company behind these machines probably don't understand how seriously Instagram takes this. But it's also pretty small scale. Like, it's only 100 followers or 100 likes. That's not, that's chump change for Instagram.
Like, so, I mean, obviously against the terms of service, and they don't like it very much. What can these companies do? I mean, I guess they could go after the company itself, or do they target the vending machines themselves? Or like, where do you even begin with this sort of thing? I have to imagine, like you said, it's a cat and mouse game. So how difficult is it?
So this is a really odd circumstance because it's not like a website. It's like a physical object that costs, a lot of money to build and a lot of money to rent. So I'm curious to see about what Instagram's going to do here. It's my understanding in the past that they don't go after the companies themselves, but rather just the accounts. It's difficult to try and shut down dozens to hundreds of websites in hundreds of languages. It's easier to just mass ban, accounts that are participating in this behavior, and they have algorithms in place that are looking for this kind of suspicious behavior. So if you, tried to purchase 10,000 followers in a day, it's likely that you'd set something off inside Instagram that might get you banned.
And then once those accounts are killed, are destroyed, essentially, all of those likes that you thought you had suddenly just up and disappear, vanish into thin air, or do they stick around and you can remember them?
And I think it's kind of a complicated structure you're going through. Like 2 Russian journalists who tried this out, and they contacted me and shared their article. They said it didn't work, or at least didn't work immediately. And then they went back to the vending machine company and they're like, oh, sorry, we'll work on it. So it's not really a foolproof system because these accounts are getting banned often. And, the janky automation software that they're using to carry this out, it's definitely not foolproof.
You said that this also might be just a way to get contacts to spam, that they're doing more than just giving you likes, but using your current real live followers and your email address to spam you.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. And like, I don't want to, accuse the company because it's not clear what would happen. I haven't tried the machine myself, but I have seen schemes in the past where it's like, it's the classic phrase follow for follow. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they're trying to build a network of these accounts. So if you buy some likes, maybe in the future, you'll find yourself liking some pictures that you didn't mean to like. I think that's one mechanism that they might be using to try and carry this out. But yeah, and they have some like sketchy stuff in their pitch deck. It looks like it's Google translated, so I'm not exactly sure what they mean in the English version of their pitch deck. The company that makes the machines. But yeah, it appears like there's some sort of automated marketing that happens when you use this machine. I definitely would not recommend anybody, any Russian watching this that's trying to get some extra likes. This is maybe make a better post instead of trying to buy some likes.
I don't know. It kind of sounds like a value add to me. you get some extra spam on the back end. Everybody wins.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. But yeah, it was definitely a strange find. I love the idea. It's like super interesting to see this coming into the real world. And I just love how blatant it is. We went to the mall and you bought some likes. I feel like traditionally it's been something that people, at least in the US, are a little bit more secretive about. I've heard of like ex-girlfriends, buying a bunch of likes for their selfie to make their boyfriend jealous or something. But that's not something necessarily discussed in the open. And I like the idea of just doing it at the mall.
Yeah, you get your ears pierced. You go get some likes on your Instagram photo.
That's why you're getting your ears pierced. Yeah, that's why you're getting your ears pierced or buying the sunglasses at the mall so you get more likes. This is cutting right to the
social
source.
Media 101, people.
It is. I mean, like you mentioned before, that their bots on Twitter and I'm assuming on Instagram are a huge problem because of the money that's changing hands on Instagram for sponsored posts, and on Twitter. I mean, we've heard horrible stories about these huge bots that might have, influenced the election or have the ability to turn on certain people. So, this is the lighter side of what is going on, which isn't always so light.
It just shows how easy it is to create this software, because I don't think that it was particularly difficult for, the developers behind this machine to do this. The machine's not, like the most sophisticated, piece of technology out there. As you can see it's like a pretty low res LCD screen. I'm not like that impressed by it. So it shows how easy it is to do this. I really wish it wasn't so touchy for me to ask them how they did it. I wonder if they bought a botnet somewhere on the deep web, or like if they bought if they made 50,000 fake Instagram accounts or something to carry this out, or if it's a situation where you then involuntarily like a bunch of other posts later on. But yeah, it's super funny. It's, a really fun story, and I'm glad that I spotted it.
So when you're not covering Russian vending machines, what's your beat at Motherboard?
So I actually just started a couple days ago after I was a contractor for about 8 months last year. I was working as an editorial fellow. So I think I'm going to be covering kind of like this kind of stuff, like the weird internet, how our identities are changing online, a little bit of cybersecurity. I'm also really interested in just the major tech companies like Apple, Google, Uber, any weird stuff going on there. The weirder the better, and I love social media bots. I love the automation of social media, especially because these companies really hate it. So it's fun to uncover kind of stuff.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, Louise Matsakis did I get that right? Matsakis?
Yeah, you got it.
Is an assistant editor at Motherboard, and L Matsakis on Twitter. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good night, you guys.
You too.
Have a good night.